UConn, Houston, Purdue, North Carolina secure number 1 seeds defending national champion UConn, a day removed from winning the Big East tournament and improving to 31-3, was selected as the men's number 1 overall seed Sunday during the NCAA tournament selection show. The Huskies, who have won 7 in a row and finished 7-2 this season against teams in the Associated Press Top 25, are joined on the one line by Houston, Purdue, and North Carolina, 3 teams that have been consistently in the top 10 this season but lost in their respective conference tournaments last week. UConn will open its title defense at Barclays Center in Brooklyn against Stetson on Friday. Should the Huskies advance, they will play either Florida Atlantic or Northwestern. It's tough no matter where you are. There's so much depth in college basketball these days, UConn coach Dan Hurley told ESPN's Bracketology panel after the selection show. This time of year comes down to who plays the best to their identity. For the Cougars and Boilermakers, Sunday's selections marked the second time in as many years they landed at number 1. They were joined last season by Alabama and Kansas, who both heard their names called this season, but not on the top line. Houston will have to navigate the likes of Duke, Kentucky, and Marquette in the South region if the Cougars are able to make their first Final Four since 2021. The Cougars were rewarded for being the Big 12 regular season champions and reaching the conference tournament title game before losing to Iowa State. They will face number 16 seed Longwood, the Big South champion, in Memphis, Tennessee, in the first round Thursday. Houston will be a number 1 seed for the 3rd time in school history. Longwood is a champion. That's what I know about them, Houston coach Kelvin Sampson said in his media availability after the selection show when asked about the Cougars' first opponent. They just won a championship. For North Carolina, its number 1 seed is the 4th and final, and came after much debate amid the committee. The Tar Heels will open Thursday in Spokane, Washington against the winner from Tuesday's first 4. There was a lot of discussion. Obviously, North Carolina got it. We looked at some head-to-heads, but overall, North Carolina had a magnificent season, Dr. Charles McClelland, the chair of this year's committee, said on CBS Selection Show. They did what they were supposed to do in the regular season. Tar Heels coach Hubert Davis, speaking to reporters in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, after the selection show, concurred with McClelland. We're a number 1 seed because of the work this team has done this season, he said. I'm proud of how they've worked all season, how they've played, how they've prepared, and how from the start of the season they've wanted to be a team. Purdue will also play a first 4 advancer. The 29-4 Boilermakers will begin their run Friday in Indianapolis. Purdue, which lost in the first round last season to Fairleigh Dickinson, has won 6 of the past 7 games. Our goal was to get right back where we were last year, and obviously, play better and win games, Purdue coach Matt Painter told reporters in West Lafayette, Indiana, following the selection show. But this is a real tribute to our guys. You don't start as a number 1 seed the next year. You have to earn it, and our guys have earned it. Purdue's road could include a matchup with number 4 seed Kansas or number 5 seed Gonzaga, 2 teams accustomed to much better seeds this time of year, just to reach the Sweet 16. And to reach the Final Four, the road could go through number 2 Tennessee or number 3 seed Creighton, who are both coming off disappointing appearances in their conference tournaments. Hurley's team has been the most dominant team for much of the season, and the Huskies kept that rolling last week at Madison Square Garden. Purdue had the best collection of wins and Houston was number 1 in most metrics, but their upsets in the Big 10 and Big 12 tournaments, respectively, loomed large in the committee room Sunday. With several upsets in the conference tournaments this weekend, and several automatic bid teams stealing spots away from bubble teams, McClelland called this year's decisions among the most difficult in years. The Big East was among the conferences that were well represented on the outside portion of the cut line. And Hurley, in speaking with reporters in Storrs, Connecticut, after the selection show, disagreed with St. John's and Seton Hall, 2 conference rivals of the Huskies, not making the tournament. I'm probably just a little embarrassed for the league, for such a proud league, Hurley said of the Big East, which ended up with 3 tournament teams, including Marquette and Creighton. The whole thing is just kind of a shell game. And it just really comes down to what the committee values. Both the SEC and Big 12 placed 8 teams in the field, while the Big 10 and Mountain West each had 6.